Welcome to the Unclehack Podcast, where dudes pretty much just talk dude shit.
We did it, gents. Back again for another episode of the Unclehack Podcast. What do we have in store for you? November 20th, Danger Room has been moved from the 13th. A little damage took place at the wonderful Comedy Cave in Calgary, Alberta. So they had to move the date. I guess that's the only day that the fellas could come in and fix the roof there. Massive snowstorm that took place over the weekend caused a little damage at the comedy club. So we're asked to move the date from November 13th to the 20th. Little update for you. November 25th, we are in Grand Prairie once again. And then December 11th, Edmonton, Alberta at the Comic Strip. All tickets available at dangercatshop.com. You see what I did there? I ambushed you right out the gate of my stupid stand-up date so that way you'd possibly show up so I can feel good again, feel good about myself. Roast Battles Volume 7 is now live on Patreon as well. You are going to get another ad about this in about a half an hour. But why I do it at the beginning is because, most of you are listening, okay? Over the weekend, the fellas, the Three Musketeers, we can't say any 50s. We're still only... a minute 30 into the episode, so we got to relax a little bit before we start getting into the $50 words. That's later in the episode. Apparently, AI technology goes through all of your video, recognizes what you're saying, and then decides on distribution that way. I guess that has a little bit of a play, so maybe relaxing on cuss words in the first 5 minutes is probably a good idea, because it's not like this show is booming across the internet. It's very underground, if you will. It's almost like it's a little club that you and your friends can just all brag about that you're in, right? I think. I don't know. Probably not. Not a club worth bragging about. But over the weekend, we were in Fernie, British Columbia. And this is how out of touch I am with the oil patch and what's going on inside the oil patch besides, what you hear with people. But the Trans Mountain Pipeline is going through there right now. And Fernie, BC... notoriously known for a kind of a ski bum town, right? This time of year is when all the Aussies, the Kiwis, and those from the UK come in to take over the ski resort and do whatever they do, invade the town. But now it's been invaded by pipeliners, which is kind of fucking funny because for the most part, a lot of the townsmen there, what's the best way to describe them? They all seem to either look like they smoke a ton of dope and snowboard or enjoy hiking and have a bag of trail mix on them. There's only those two types there. No in between. And now you throw in the pipeliners in there and it's just, it's tampering with the ecosystem and it's hilarious to watch. So you get a few guys out there that enjoy a few sarsaparillas at 5:00 and guess what they're doing? They're having a good time. And as we've learned in the past, and I'm not saying snowboarders and those that like to have a good time on the mountain aren't, they enjoy a good time as well, but I don't think they enjoy the same as like a pipeliner's a good time, if you know what I mean. They're a little bit more rambunctious, you're pent up all day. You try being on the road, right? A lot of them I was talking to after the show, a lot of them are working a 6-1. You're a little pent up after a 6-1, right? Sometimes you even let loose during your shift. You're showing up to work a little hungover. You want to have yourself a good time too while you're working, I respect the guys out there in the field. God bless you. You know what? A lot of us showed up for the show. Quite honestly, I respect the hell out of it. Jesus Christ, I'm spitting like I'm at a fucking orgy over here. Yeah, fuck, you like that? I'm at a word orgy. Just berating your ears with nonsense that you don't need. Entertain you for an hour while you possibly could be on that same pipeline project that I was just around. The fine human beings out there got a chance to drink some ice cold Budweisers with them. You know, I let loose on the weekend. Daddy got into the beers. Usually we're like show to show to show. This one was a single action plan. We went out, attacked the village. We brought all the pipeliners under one roof and let the town have it. Rambunctious shows, I got to say. I'm starting to get used to it. You know, during the week, I'll go and do some open mics, like, try and work on new material so that way I can be relevant, cool, let everybody know how cool I am. Hey, I was off doing shows. Oh, look how great I am. You know, I get to do that for a few days. And then I go back out on the road. We're road dogging hard. We got a few weeks off now. Like I said, next show, November 20th. So I got a little breathing room in between. Do I like that? No, not really. I'd love to be out every weekend. It is so much fun. It's tiring as fuck. Holy shit. Who gives a fuck? You know what? You don't care about my life, what I'm up to. Oh, little bee-boo, you gotta go and do what you want to do and go tell little jokey jokes to guys that have actual calluses on their hands, you fucking pussy. There we go. Getting it out of my system. But it was great to be around those fine folks. We went in a day earlier and went to a junior B game there in Fernie, BC, Ghost Riders game. What? Oh, fuck. One of the gnarliest barns I've ever been to. So much fun. So they split the arena in half and went like right down the middle. Okay, I'm talking north to south. Left side, as you walk in, is the drinking where you can have beers and all that. They're licensed to have beers over there. On the right side, more family friendly, right? That's where mom and dad bring the 3-year-old, 4 or 5, whatever. Let the kids run around, have a good time. On the left side of the rink, though, is where mom and dad can have a few beers and enjoy some junior hockey. And I'll tell you what, that fucking audience, I went to a game 6 years ago, and that audience there is out of control. First off, is back when the Aussies were still coming in. This whole COVID thing kind of fucked all that up by bringing in the imports. And the Aussies there are just out of their minds. Don't understand the game, but they're just having a great time. I like that. I like a rambunctious crowd. It reminds me of when we go out on the road and we draw out, aka like the same similar type human being, obnoxious, outspoken, get a few drinks in them, and all of a sudden they want to talk. They're treating a comedy show like it's a fucking Monday morning safety meeting. You know, everybody's got to put in their 2 cents, right? And I like that, though. It reminds me to fucking keep your mind right, you know? You can't get too big with that happening, right? Your head can't explode, and that's a good thing in my mind. But those junior bits, they were tearing the house down. The fucking guard around the heater, these idiots are smacking on it so hard it fell down. It took out a row of people. That's what I'm talking about. That's junior B hockey. You know, they took the fighting away from these goddamn kids. They're making them wear full face cages, but you can't tame the crowd down. Thank God. You know what? Shout out to the Fernie Ghost Riders crowd. You know, such a shame that junior B hockey it's pussified so much now. No fighting, bee-boo, bee-boo. You can't have a good time, you know? You didn't make junior A. You can't get out that frustration no more. Now we're going to, you can't even feel like you're, a step above in the hockey world. We're going to make you wear a cage. Bee-boo, bee-boo. Half those kids don't even care, I don't think. To me, it's like it resembles much more when you're wearing a visor, right? It does. It just feels like you get that feel. Well, we're just thinking about the safety. There's always some asshole thinking about the safety. No, have you not noticed most of those kids that are out there playing? Safety is the last thing on their mind. And the ones that do that try to talk about it, be like, well, we're just trying to make the game safe for most of the boys out here, are usually not the ones that they ain't fighting. They are not fighting. Let the fucking young guys beat the shit out of one another. What's so wrong with that? God, all these old bastards. This is what happens. This is what happens when you put too many empathetic people on a board that has no idea. It's like me. I'm so out of touch, right? I'm so out of touch with the oil field work and projects that are on the go. I'm so focused on what I'm doing, which granted, you know what? It's like those listen to I doubt you give a fuck what I'm up to every week. It's just like, shut up, idiot, and start telling us your little jokes. Fair enough. I can handle that. That is completely fair for you to say something like that. But there's like a similar crossover there with ideas and thoughts, I find, where you get some moron. Well, we're just trying to, it's always safety. It's always safety. We're just trying to make it a little more safe. Nobody wants safe. We're tired of safe. We've bubble wrapped everything so fucking tight now that we're like exploding. You can feel it. It's like causing tension in your loins. Fuck, you can't even get a boner over here these days without somebody being like, well, there's a fucking consent. Do you have consent to have that boner? Did that, it's getting out of control. It's too much. I don't like it. Maybe I'm too stuck in the old guard way of thinking, I'm too stupid to like elevate myself and become even slightly progressive in any sort to accept anybody else's views other than those that want to drag their knuckles, beat the shit out of fellow males, and just get pussy. That's it. I'm that idiot. And it's not even like I'm the last old guard standing. There's plenty of us out there, but you get so tired of hearing about we got the concerns of others. Don't take me out of your concerns, okay? Take me out of them. I don't want to be in your thoughts and feelings. I'm okay here, getting a couple boo-boos on me because I decided to run my lips at the wrong place at the wrong time, okay? I'll take my ass kickings. And waltz on. I will shuffle my ass down the street and enjoy my day with a black eye and a broken soul because I was fighting outside of my weight class. I'm okay with that. No. It's completely pisses me off is what it does. It's especially when you're hearing little things like the gentleman that I was talking with over the weekend there, it like the things you can't say on site. You can't say certain words on site, it eats me alive. There's something about it. When somebody that I don't respect in the first place starts telling me something that I can't do, it just makes me want to do it more, So when you get like this, well, I went to the University of Alberta for human resources and, there's a lot of policies in place that you guys aren't abiding by. And it's like, well, listen, that's because you do that over there, okay? You don't understand this over here, I'm out here in plus 30 to minus 30 in sometimes in the short turnover time of 3 months. It could be plus 30, and in 3 months, it's fucking minus 30. I'm freezing my bag off. I'm miserable, okay? You're out there in Calgary making up little rules. A lot of people are offended by the way that you spoke today. And I'm freezing my nuts. I haven't seen my wife in those same 3 months. Look at that. Our timelines are aligning here in my false story. You haven't seen your wife in 3 months. Kids are growing up. Daddy's not around. Miserable inside. A lot of angst against the world, just to make the almighty dollar. And yet some nerd that's going to push up his glasses and look down upon you and be like, listen, I don't agree with saying faggot on stage. Or on stage. That's how deeply embedded I am in stand-up comedy now. I can't even make a false fucking story for you guys so I can try and prove my point how bad it's getting out there. The classic glasses push comes out, brand new coveralls. First day out of the office in 3 months. Everything's in 3 lines here. He comes out to kind of push his glasses up and be like, listen, we've had a report that you've maybe said some offensive words here on site. And it's like, yeah, I have said some offensive words. Okay. I said a lot of offensive words. And I'm going to say a few fucking more just because I feel like it. Okay. So pack your little gay ass laptop bag up. Pull out your little laptop and start typing things up. Well, we're going to have to make a report. Paperwork. Too stupid. That's it. That's the thing. Just go do the work. Yeah, again, I'm one of those knuckle draggers. Just go do the work. Get the job done. Which brings us to our first article of the day here. It's a wonderful one. See, This right here is quite interesting, okay? From our favorite little journalist all the way out in Ottawa, Rachel Gilmore, ladies and gentlemen. We'll pause that for a second. All right, get out of here. The headline reads, military recruiting issues may be more serious than senior ranks letting on. Hillier. All right, so there's a little interview here, but we'll read the first paragraph so to give us a little context on what's going on. As the Canadian Armed Forces grapples with how to boost recruitment amid growing global dangers, a former chief of the defense staff is warning that the situation might even be worse than the top brass are letting on. Now we're going to listen to this because there's a few key points in here that I find funny. Okay, give us a little audio. We'll wind it back a little, and we're going to get into this now right away so I can vape like a pussy. The West Block.
Canada's military is desperately looking for more troops. The forces are short more than 10,000 members.
Ooh.
That's one in every...
Why are you doing this to me?
10 positions unfilled. The country's top soldier, General Wayne Eyre, was blunt, warning that the shortfall means Canada's military isn't prepared to fight the threats of tomorrow. For more on what this means for the forces and for Canadian security, I'm joined by former Defence Chief, retired General Rick Hillier. Nice to see you, General Hillier. Always great to have a chance to speak with you.
Mercedes, glad to be here. Thank you.
I have to ask you, what went through your head when Wayne Eyre came out, who's not a drama kind of guy, and says something as drastic as we're going to have to stop all non-essential operations, and seems to be indicating that this is a really serious crisis?
Well, Wayne called it right, and I'm glad he said that. I'm glad he came out publicly and made the case. And in reality, I believe the case is much more serious than what Wayne has articulated, and he's done it in a very, very capable manner, and I fully support him. But, I hear numbers, for example, of the Canadian forces being down far greater than, 10%. And instead of being at 70,000 people, the Canadian forces are operating probably somewhere at about 45,000 people.
Wow.
And out of that, there are a significant percentage of them who are not operationally deployable or capable. So the capability of the Canadian forces, what we rely upon to look after us in Canada and then to represent us and protect our interests around the world and to take our values with them, that part that can do that is minuscule right now, and we need to change it.
So what he's saying is we are very invadable. Other than the brothers down south, Uncle Sam with his missiles and AR-15s that they're trying to ban. Speaking of which, we've just made it illegal for any purchasing of handguns in Canada or trade or to bring any in, which here's what makes me laugh while as he's speaking about this. Numbers have dropped from 70,000 to 45,000, and it's just starting to get a little, uncomfortable here because we aren't able to represent ourselves the best on the world stage. It's not like, it's not like, let's be honest. We got to be honest here. Now, I'm not taking shots at anybody in the Canadian Armed Forces here, but I'm just saying, there are soldiers that I respect. A lot of them packed up, went over to Iraq, fucking Afghanistan. They've done tours. They've done things that I couldn't even imagine doing myself. With that being said, isn't it a bit odd? Isn't it a bit odd that they're complaining about this after you discharged a ton of soldiers inside your military for being unvaccinated?
Gay!
So you let all these guys go, and then all of a sudden they're like, all right, you can come back. And a lot of them are like, fuck that. Why? Why would I do that? Why would I do that? You have James Tops, who's marching across Canada, who the media is now vilified as a alt-right extremist. So anybody who is a veteran, Diagolon founder Jeremy McKenzie, also a veteran, is now being vilified in the media. So soldiers right now are demonized in the media for standing up and standing out for what they believe in. Now, these men have done things unimaginable to many of the general public, but yet media wants to demonize them so they can get their clickbait headlines. And you wonder why numbers are down, because it's like, well, why would I go fucking risk my life for, the same wage I could make as a plumber? If not, I could make more as a plumber than risk being shot in Kuwait for a UN mission. I got to pack up and go fight the war in Ukraine under the NATO umbrella? That seems like a wonderful idea. I think I'll do that. Instead of being home every night, yes, I want to pack my bags. A lot of people are like opening their eyes to like the whole scenarios that are happening across the world, It's even like when America invades somewhere. And you have a lot of, listen, those who generally enlist in the military probably aren't overly conservative, or my apologies, aren't overly liberal. Now, a lot of them are very interesting. This is one thing I've noticed about veterans when they go into the military. Their ideologies change when they come back. They're very anti-government when they get back, and they're very outspoken about it. Now, it doesn't matter which party is in power, okay? There are a lot of angry veterans. You want to know the truth? Go talk to one of them for 15 minutes and ask them the questions that you would like to know. What's actually happening over there? What's really going on over there? And they will gladly tell you that they're fighting a war they should not be in. They are fighting a war they should not be in. And you wonder why numbers are down. You wonder why. It's a complete mystery. Complete mystery. Nobody has a fucking clue, right? Nobody can wrap their head around it. It just...
So how severe is this situation? How much trouble are we in?
Well, I think the Canadian Forces is in a huge amount of trouble, but from the people side, from the equipment side, from the procurement side and all those things. But I think that puts Canada in a tough spot also. Again, our ability to respond in emergencies, whether it's a hurricane, as we just saw, whether it's something else, or to respond around the world as part of NATO, as part of the United Nations, to help make the world a better and more secure place for Canadians to live within. Our ability to do that goes down to almost zero, and that's not good for a nation that's a G7 nation, that's a founding member of NATO, a founding member of the UN, and we start to lose our impact, and in fact we already have around the world. So we need to change it if Canada is going to be strong and define the world the way it should be for Canadians.
Why do you think this is happening? Is it neglect? Is it the culture issues in the Canadian Forces? Is it simply that they're spread too thin? What's behind the shortage that we're seeing?
Well, I think you've taken the Canadian Armed Forces over the last 4, 5, 6, 7 years, and you've just beaten it almost to death. And you know, you've maligned the leadership. Some of the leaders have done, obviously, things that are absolutely inappropriate, unacceptable, and being held to, held to that. And so those things are all occurring at the same time. We've not had missions across the world that are really a big magnet for kids to want to join. And when I say kids, that 18 to 25 group who want to go out and change the world, well, they want to go and do it on a mission. They don't want to sit in, Shiloh, Manitoba, or Petawawa, Ontario. And so there are a variety of things, but essentially it comes back to is that we've removed the excitement and we've removed the mystique of being a soldier, an aviator, or a sailor, or a Special Forces trooper for Canada as a proud and good.
Oh, is that so? Kids don't want to, they don't want to throw on the old camo and head over to fucking Ukraine. Isn't that something? Isn't that weird? The Chinese are winning. Let's call it for what it is. The Chinese are winning because they have now convinced North Americans that doing, just wiggling your hands a little bit to be a TikTok star is much more important than defending your country's liberties, freedoms, the culture. The culture, it's a culture war at the end of the day. But this old dinosaur's just saying whatever he needs to say to smooth it all over, make it sound pretty, make it sound nice, We don't need anybody going out here and kicking up too much dust. We don't need that. We don't want everybody out here thinking that, we don't want them knowing the truth, a lot the culture in the Canadian Armed Forces. No. It probably has a little bit to do with, a lot of viral clips that are taking place. Like when Brock Blazchik, great Canadian soldier, lost his legs in combat for this country. Shout out to him. Wonderful human being. I've had the pleasure of chatting with him and I consider him a close friend. When he asked that question to Trudeau about what's he going to do for Canadian veterans, and he responds back, well, there's just simply not enough to give right now. So now you're seeing the glass house that we're looking into doesn't look so great. Okay, I'm going to go look at this man. Went over, risked his life, got his leg blown off, damn near died. So, thankfully he didn't. Because then with that one question right there exposes the reason why young men or women or whatever won't join the Canadian Armed Forces. Because you're going to come back and not be taken care of. Isn't that strange? Isn't that weird? Why people wouldn't want to go over and fight a fucking war and have their legs and limbs blown to pieces, come back for the leader of the country to look them in the eye and say, well, you're kind of on your own. You're fucked. I guess maybe being a plumber or a TikTok star is in the deck of cards now. I was thinking about grabbing that M16 and heading over and doing a couple of UN missions, heading over to Africa, making sure the tribes don't get a little too crazy over there, making sure the peace is kept, that democracy thrives in these third world countries. But then again, the Chinese convinced me that it's a wonderful idea to just do like a little jig to the new hottest song. Got me on the ropes, if you will. And this old dog right here, well, there's probably a little bit of distrust that's happening with the Canadian Armed Forces and the leadership that they've done some things that they're destined. First off, let's talk about that, okay? Let's talk about that. Yeah. When you're being programmed to go over and face, you accept death and I think that the last thing that you're caring about is some chick that gets diddled in the broom closet. And I say that respectfully. When in the back of my mind, I'm being shipped over to some country that, there's a lot of people that despise my guts. They don't want me there. They're throwing rocks at my vehicle. I don't know if one of them is wearing a goddamn detonator vest. I think the last thing in my brain, now this is after the recruitment process. I think the last thing that sits in my brain as I'm seeing a child, like I got to make a decision on whether or not I got to put a bullet in this child, on whether or not this child is carrying some explosives that could possibly take out my whole platoon. I question, right? And I'm sitting there, right? I'm putting myself in the passenger seat of this truck, and I'm looking at this child come running towards us, and I got to make a decision on whether or not I got to put a bullet in this little tiny infant, 4 years old, let's say. And I got to make the decision on whether or not to just blow this thing to smithereens and lose the trust of the community that I'm trying to protect. Okay? I just want to say that the first thing on those people's mind is just like, why the hell would you finger bang somebody in a broom closet? Why would you do that? Out of all the places that you could possibly finger bang somebody, why a broom closet? It's musty in there. Sometimes they don't even change the mop water. It stinks. There's not a good smell inside of a goddamn broom closet. There's chemicals above you. You're getting the smell of wastewater and chemicals. And then on top of it, you might be dealing with the scent of a stinky pussy. Why would you go there? Why wouldn't you just go to the barracks and have a shower? Maybe get a hotel. Wait till we're off base. Why wouldn't you do that? Oh, right. I'm supposed to put 3 in this kid. What the fuck? Ah, God damn it. I'm losing distrust in the Canadian Armed Forces because they're doing finger bangs in a goddamn broom closet. I'm over here. I'm supposed to take that child out. I'm on a peacekeeping mission right now. Instead, I'm thinking about my goddamn sergeant diddling the chef in the barracks when I was out in goddamn Sudfield, Alberta, learning how to use a goddamn M16. Jesus Christ, what the hell is going on with me? Can't believe it. I'm over here losing my noodle. Thankfully, when I get back, though, the veterans will be taken care of. I'll get back and, I'll be able to restore myself mentally from all the horrific scenes that I've seen and caused over here. And I'm not dissing any veteran by any means. And if anything, I sympathize for these guys. Jesus Christ, I couldn't imagine some of the shit that they've had to do and then come back and then they just plant you back in regular old Joe society, Old regular Joe. And then expect you just to fit in. Oh yeah, don't worry about it. You'll be fine. You'll be good. Yeah, no, you're going to have night terrors. Thinking about all the crazy shit that you did. It's going to affect the shit out of you. It's going to fuck you up. You're going to have a tough time living with regular folks, Some days you might snap and just beat the shit out of the neighbor because he fucking slammed his garbage lid too fast. And you took it like that, just set something off, that sound, that noise, triggered something in your brain, and you think he's up to something. He's a fucking Ukrainian spy, and you beat the fuck out of him in front of his wife and kids. Established dominance in the goddamn neighborhood. You're trying to get intel. What the fuck do you know? But don't worry. We'll take care of you. We'll give you a free membership to the Legion so you can drink $3 beers. And hell, we'll give you some pills. Some pills will figure that out. You wonder why these fucking people have no trust in the government. It is funny. Old bastard right here says, well, I honestly think that it could possibly be that there's a little distrust in the management, like it's a fucking McDonald's.
Good thing to do. And you actually have to rebuild that, and that's not a short-term process.
So who do you think is responsible for that? Is it the leadership who made the mistakes? Is it the way they've gone about trying to fix it? Is it the elected government? Is it the Canadian public?
Well, I think it's all of the above, but you have to have the leadership to move forward on it. So if anybody thinks that Wayne Eyre, for all his ability, is going to fix this problem, then they are mistaken, they are wrong. He cannot fix this alone. We need a prime minister who's going to show support for the Canadian forces visibly and to get out and show how proud he is and any other prime minister after him is of those young men and women in uniform. I was very fortunate. I had Prime Minister Paul Martin, who loved soldiers and who was determined to rebuild the Canadian Armed Forces. And then he was followed by Stephen.
that's like, if Big Trudy went to go rile up the troops, you want to know what that'd be like? That'd be like taking the mascot and giving a pregame speech to a Super Bowl team, you know? That's exactly what it'd be. It'd be like taking the mascot and be like, we've been here before, fellas. Be like, what the fuck is this idiot talking about? Yeah, you bet. Why is the guy that's in the mascot fucking suit, why is he in here trying to jack me up before we're going to play a game in the Super Bowl? We're about to win a championship here, and you feel like this is the only person we could get? We can't get past Super Bowl champions to come in here and rile us up, start talking about it. No, let's get the prime minister in here. Let's get the mascot in. Maybe he could bring his t-shirt cannon, you know? Maybe he could shoot a few t-shirts in the room. Show us how it's done. Yeah, this right here, the old t-shirt cannon. Do blackface for him. That'd rile me up. If I was a Canadian armed soldier, I'm sitting there in the barracks. Big Trudy comes in and starts doing one of those like old, what are those old plays called? Remember when they used to do like blackface plays? Bring that in. That'll get me jacked up. I'll be ready for war then. You'd be like, oh yeah, yeah, here we go. We're gonna go take down the rebel Africans. Have him dressed like one, doing a little dance like he was doing in those videos that went out. You know that, or if he loves dress up. He's a perfect mascot for it. Go in there, dress up like one of the bad guys. Picture me as the bad guy. See, I come up with good ideas every now and then. Put Big Trudy and wherever we got to go blow the fucking shit out of, right? In assisting the Americans. Just being there for moral support. Hey there, bud, you need a head change in the tire? They do more than that. Listen, I'm not shitting on the veterans, okay? I like those guys. I do. I enjoy hanging out with. I love kicking it with the veterans. I do. They're honestly some of the funniest fucking people. Very morbid, very dark. You know, they've earned it though. I think they've earned it. They're allowed to say a couple nasty things. I think they're allowed to. They should be awarded some sort of little pin or something that they can wear on their shirt. And I'm not talking like a poppy or nothing like that. That just gives them the ability to say whatever they want. They want to go off on anti-Semitism. You've earned it. You know. They're not going to get canceled like Kanye or lose an Adidas fucking, you know what? What are you going to lose? Your free Canadian weed that you get to try and like stifle PTSD that's rattling in your brain? Is that what they get? I don't know. I know a few guys that get the free Canadian weed just to kind of keep the tempers low. Difficult for a lot of them to find jobs, you know, but that's okay. Give them the fucking badge. Let them say whatever the hell they want. Instead, you were trying to rip them off the internet. A lot of angry veterans out there. I guarantee you there was did you not see at the convoy all the veterans that surrounded the unknown soldier statue and they protected that thing? You can't tell me that these guys aren't patriotic. You can't tell me that for a single fucking second that these guys aren't patriotic for 1 second. They sat there. The police are sitting there. They look like pansies. You know what's funny is like veterans are still, a lot of them are still in great shape. And then you got these pigs, these fat RCMP officers trying to be like, well, give them the what for. And it's like, listen, this guy would still out wrestle you. He's battle broken and still in tremendous fucking shape. And your fat ass is trying to tell this guy what's good for him. Okay. Calm down, Chief Wingham. Get out of here. What an asshole. Time for a little ad read. Okay. Roast Battles Volume 7 is now live on our Patreon. Patreon.com/DangerCat69. Your boy, title on the line. A lot of fun little interactions that took place. We have a guy getting kicked out. Live, caught on tape. He's all fuckered up in the front row. The title on the line. Then goes to an arm wrestle match due to a joke. It gets interesting. It's a good battle all through and through. Great battle. Patreon.com/DangerCats69. Also, you will get a exclusive episode of the Unclehack podcast that's live waiting for you, and a backlog of all the old episodes right to the beginning in video, and get this, a little video and audio. So there you have it. Patreon.com/DangerCat69. You can become a producer of this show by becoming a Danger Dong. Isn't that interesting? You could be not only a supporter, but recognized for your support on this show. DangerCatShop.com for all your tour dates. Tickets to shows are all listed at DangerCatShop.com, and merch is available on there as well. T-shirts, hoodies, and flags is what we have in stock right now. Working hard to get some new products online. When will they drop? Who knows? Probably just in time for the holiday season, so you can get that Danger Cat fan some of the new merch that we have in stock. DangerCatShop.com. Use the promo code podcast69. Receive 15% off your order today. Anyways, back to the episode. Operating on a whole new camera now. If you can't tell, well, maybe you can't. Maybe you will. Maybe you don't. Who cares? Let's get back into the video. We're only 4 minutes into this.
And Harper, who was determined to rebuild the Canadian Armed Forces. And the focus of those prime ministers meant their ministers were focused, the government was focused, and indeed the population of Canada was focused on how important these men and women are and how much they need our support. And as a result, we could do it. We need all of that to take place right now. So you need that kind of visible support. You need dollars into the Canadian Forces, and you need a full-up, active, #1 priority mission to recruit young Canadians to come and serve our nation in uniform.
I noticed you didn't list Justin Trudeau or Anita Anand.
Well, look, the Prime Minister has got a huge role to play in this, and I just encourage him to get out there and make sure that he's in a spot where he can, praise those men and women who service, who join, who leave their families, who go around the world, and sometimes do it at great risk to themselves. And they do it for Canada, they do it for service before self, and they ask so little in return. And so it's a great opportunity for leadership to stand up and be accountable for this, and to be out there doing exactly what needs to be done.
We are heading towards Remembrance Day. Tough time for a lot of Canadian veterans. And I'm aware of a number.
Yes. The one time a year we give a single shit about them. Isn't that nice? One day out of the year where we come together and we go, thank you for your service. Even though you want to shit on them, which I kind of been doing a little bit here during this episode, but I recognize that I'm talking shit about the military. I do. I recognize that I'm talking a little shit over here, but I'm not going to parade around like I'm some sort of wonderful human being when November 11th comes rolling around, after what happened in Ottawa last year. Well, we'll be coming on a year in February. What happened in Ottawa in February when all those people gathered? You punted a ton of military personnel because they weren't vaccinated. You again vilified other key members that have served and are greatly respected by veterans. Okay. You've done all these things, and now the one time a year where everybody gets to dust off their little poppy, they're going to put on their little poppy, go and parade around like, oh, yeah, the veterans, oh, God, what they did for this country. And then only for tomorrow go back to being like, you know what, why isn't there a land acknowledgement at the Raptors game? Why isn't there a land acknowledgement when I walk into a Chili's on the north side? You know this is unceded Treaty 7 territory. You go right back to that. Right back to it. You don't even miss a beat. You watch your little Remembrance Day recap on CBC News, or catch like the little posts you see on fucking Instagram of all your favorite media accounts. Today we remember for those who sacrificed more than we ever could. And the fearful young men that gathered up to fight an evil ideology that was existing in Germany. They crashed the beaches of Normandy, did what was necessary to keep the freedom here in Canada, and we thank those who have done this for this wonderful country. We thank those who sacrificed more than just their life, their childhoods, many of them young teenagers wanting to be soldiers in the Canadian Armed Forces. We praise them today, but today only. Tomorrow we go back to calling them alt-right extremists for doing what they did. For those serving, who have served, and of those who have fallen short of life, meeting their maker faster than most of us will in our life. Unless you're triple vaccinated, then myocarditis is up on the... And then right back into it, right? Right back into it. Canadian Armed Forces are looking for more recruitments. Unless, we have now lifted the restrictions on whether or not you're unvaccinated. Your medical status does not matter, apparently, when a bullet will pierce you between the eyes. This is Tiffany, what's her name again? This is Pierce Morgan signing out. Christ almighty. Yeah. That is kind of funny that you're like, hey, yeah, no, you need to be vaccinated to be in the military. What a dumb thing. Isn't that kind of dumb? When you sit there and you think about that, that is like the one job where you should just be like, the military, right? I get it. There's probably mandatory, actually there is mandatory shots that you need to have to be in the military. They dose you up when you get there. You're kind of signing your life away, Look at the American military. I like watching those little interviews with guys in the barracks. They're like, what got you here? Because the fuck else? I ain't got shit going on. You're a convict? Sorry. We can't let you go over to Iraq and shoot RPGs at villages because you got a criminal record. You held up a liquor store in Oakland. Jesus Christ. The military is kind of funny that way when you think about it. When you truly deeply think about it, like the policies that are in place for, I get it. You can break down a human being and turn him into a goddamn, just a trained killer. That's what you can do. You can literally break them down mentally and build them up exactly how you want. Their psyche changes. It's interesting. I find all that very interesting once you get into the mentality of like soldiers. And like I was talking about earlier, it's like when they come back, how their mentality changes towards like the governing bodies that they just fought for. They put their life on their line. You start to realize it's like there's no noble cause why countries invade other countries. They always mask it with like, there's safety concerns or they need freedom. We're going to go drop some freedom on their asses. Whether or not they want that freedom, the media manipulation that takes place to like convince the common folks, like we truly have no idea about Ukraine. Every fucking moron that's putting a Ukrainian flag in their bio. Same with those like Russia sympathizers. Like I think that war right there is a perfect representation of like how dumb we are as a society. How stupid we are as human beings that will just like gobble up anything that they feed us. And then it's easy to like convince people the other way. And then instead of just seeing like, maybe war isn't good. Maybe corporate interest isn't good in other countries, Because here this has caused like, you put Russians on, you put the old Vladimir, you put him against the ropes and he responded right away. He's like, no NATO. And they're like, oh, no, I think we're going to do NATO. We'll just make you look bad because, it's easy to get the press on our sides. They love war. Ratings go up. Pay attention to the news a little more. And now nobody like cares. Russia, Ukraine, nobody. At first it was like, ooh. Now we're just like, we're back and we're like, oh, Kanye said some shit about the Jews. We're back to that. It didn't take long. It did not take long. Kanye said some shit about the Jews and got dropped by Adidas. Isn't that some shit? You know, that's the big story right now. Saying some shit about the Jews. It did not take long. Ironically enough, is like, you know, all these, like the Azov Battalion, notoriously known for being like neo-Nazis, right? With that, like that, whoa. I'm sure they have some great viewpoints on the Jewish community. Leave them be, right? But we're going to side with them. Kanye West comes out, says the Jews are running the media, and then all of a sudden, fucking the world's crashing down. That's the biggest news source right now here in North America. Kanye West, god damn it. Yay, my apologies. Yay, Kanye is what we want to talk about right now. The war is just saying it's old news. Nobody cashes in on it no more. We're not. Oh yeah. The war. We're all about the war. Fucking, we love war. You know, there's nothing to get behind on that one. You know, nothing happened to. You can't get the Americans riled up because they're like, what the fuck? Why do we care? Well, Hunter Biden, they're like, whoa. The ones that, like, I would assume predominantly pick up weapons, regardless of those stupid polls that they put out, because I have a tough time trusting any of those polls, right? Those stupid polls be like, well, the military leans a little more democratically these days. I'd probably go with, like, a lot of them are like God-fearing fucking, you know, just the classic Republican. I am patriotic as hell. One of them. We're going to go over there and we're going to give them people some freedom. We're going to give them some goddamn freedom. And it's going to cost them about a few million civilians, but goddamn it, they'll be free as hell. These sons of bitches. Oh, what's going on here? What is going on here? Everything is dying. Where's the fucking plug-in for this son of a bitch? Listen here, you simple son of a bitch. Get this plugged in. We're falling apart. Batteries dying, sir. The war on podcasting is something else right now. There we go. Let's get this out of here. Let's end the show correctly. This is too much. I'm talking too much geopolitical shit for being as dumb as I am. Way too much. Not even geopolitical. It's just dumb fucking opinions. Let's be honest. And it's not like I'm over here like breaking it down. Be like, well, we invaded the Ukraine because of, you know, oil interests in Russia. We really want to break that down. But before, you know what? Let's get it. Yes. The high-level producing of this show now turns it over to our lovely new segment at the end of the show, how we wrap it all up, hate mail. That's right. You can email me at our unclehack at dangercats.tv. Whatever you want, I'll read it. And today, this one is very, very, very particular. Directed at me. Taking me down, taking a shot at me. And you thought that I wouldn't read it? You thought that you could take you could load up the weapon, point it at me, take some shots at a moron like myself, and I wouldn't read hate mail on this show, like I'm screening it. I've been skipping over a few fan questions, you know, because I want the hate mail. It's hot right now, right? Hate speech is hot right now. It's in. Everybody's talking about it. It's all across your CNN, your Fox News. Kanye West comes out with a little bit of hate speech and everybody gets jacked up. That's why we love hate mail on the show. So let's get into our first email right now. Dude, I'm nailing those intros. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I'm nailing those intros. All right, let's get into it. Dear Uncle Hack, no sure. Now I'm going to read this word for word, okay? No sure why you haven't received any hate mail from any of the cats out there, but I shall grant you your wish and give you the attention you're looking for like a cock-starved vegan at a truck stop. I'll do my best not to use any big words because your reading ability is that of a below average child at an autistic summer camp. First and foremost, thank you for that. I thought it was much lower. Could you please do something about the audio and the clips you play on the shit computer? I can hear that god-awful dick hugger you call a mouth flapping clear as day, but you can't hear the clip you're ranting about. I don't have free hands to turn up the volume every time like you and all the other shithawks slacking off in the work truck. That's why wages went down to the patch. Bunch of shit dicks pretending to work sitting in a warm shack or a shitter drawing witty sayings on a wall or swiping away on Tinder. That's where I can only imagine you met your old lady. Who I can only imagine has an array of shit tattoos that make no sense and a box that looks like Idaho potatoes holding up 2 strips of thick cut bacon. Also, I wasn't talking about the Tinder or the Tinder or the warm-up shack. Not sure what you mean by that. Okay. Second, shut the fuck about how, the light's in there. Shut the fuck up about how you don't drink or do drugs. No person outside a health food store gives a flying fuck about a Greek yogurt and some oats and a giant jizz smoothie you make in the morning. Thank you. Live the brand, you sissy. Wake up, drive a fucking beer in you. Pack a fucking dip and go about your day. Maybe that's what you need. Some thinking fuel. Because if I ever have to hear another episode of you and that homo who wears one glove, Sam Walker taking shots at the 5-time roast battle champion, Sam Walker. Oh my shit. Again, trying to recreate Dr. Phil, I will find you and shit in that Bush League studio you created. Also, if you're going to have a guest, may as well go get a couple of strung out hookers, bless their hearts. That's what he said in brackets, and bait them into some fucking weird stories. Last but not least, quit hating on the West. Granted, Vancouver is full of most of the fakest gangster, the shittiest hipsters, and quite possibly the greatest population of people I would love to see swallowed up by planted earth in the case of an earthquake, aside from China and India. But other than that, okay, everywhere else is solid as fuck. So you bite your tongue, sir. Put some respect on this coast. A lot of us had to come fill jobs out in your parts because fucking Albertans can fill the jobs. Most of you are pussies and highly underskilled for the easiest of tasks. Well, I guess that'll do for now. No hate aside, you still piss me off, but I do enjoy starting my Friday off listening to you waffle on. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's exactly what we needed on this show. That's exactly what we needed on this show. I applaud you. You know, this is exactly what we needed to hear, right? You thought I screened, first off, I'm making this about me, you sick son of a bitch. You thought we screened the hate mail around here. You thought I wasn't getting any of people taking shots at me, that I wouldn't read it live on air for you, right? But I did, okay? You can say whatever the hell you want. See, I'm an advocate for free speech, even if it's bad speech about me. Even if it's hate speech on me. That's how much I love free speech. That's how much I like people speaking their fucking mind. Is that I'm willing to read this for you, for your entertainment, okay? I will come on here and allow this man to shit down my goddamn throat. Word for word, by the way. Word for word. Didn't change a single word. We keep it anonymous. So that way, you know, I want you to be able to get it out of your system. I want you to feel free to email the show, unclehack@dangercats.tv, with the subject line, hate mail, please. And we take that email, and all I do is copy and paste it, put it on a nice little backdrop, right? Put it on a nice little backdrop, and I read it word for word, okay? Now, a lot of people always got relationships problems. I want the dirt. I want the grease. I want the bullshit. I want you to just release whatever's inside of you. Anger, angst, happiness. I don't give a fuck what it is. Whatever emotion you want to tie to the email that you sent me, do so. I approve anything sent my way. Anything sent my way. Don't be sending me some watered down horse shit. Oh, bee-boo, bee-boo. The girl that I'm trying to have sex with doesn't want to have sex with me. This right here beautiful. This is great literature. This is now. I love that he takes shots at me about having the ability. Where is it? Okay, right there. I'll do my best not to use big words because your reading ability is that of a below average child at an autistic summer camp. A lot of spelling mistakes in here, I may add. A lot of spelling mistakes, but we won't be that person, okay? We won't be that person because I'll take it as he did that. He did that. I'm gonna give this guy the credit where it's due. He took this email. He knew that there were spelling mistakes in it. But he knew that my reading level is a below average child at an autistic summer camp. Okay? I'll give this guy credit where it's due. So the spelling mistakes, the double, where is it? That right there. That. Okay, there it is. But other that, we'll let that slide because I wouldn't have caught that. Okay? I wouldn't have caught that. I wouldn't have had to bring that out. But yes, I think you're all right. I did have a few beers on the weekend, so you can go fuck yourself. I even had a few whiskeys, a few sarsaparillas, a couple shots of tequila. I got into it. Shotgunning beers with all I got back in the saddle, if you will. Few hammers in my ass. But I'll be honest with you, it felt good. It was a good reset weekend. So he wrote this. I got it Monday morning. That's when we go through the email, make sure that I ain't missing nothing, right? Monday morning, we go through the email. We plan out the episode, then we put it live. So just so you know, we're back. We're in the gym, though. I'm out there drinking Bud Heavies like a goddamn alcoholic, for fuck's sakes. Felt good, though. Felt good. Even had some nose rockets in the vicinity of me. You know what? I've been offered nose rockets like you wouldn't believe lately. I show up to these places. Yeah, I got and if you've been to a show, you know that I got a joke about cocaine and blah, 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 blah. Right? And a lot of people don't believe me. They always go like, oh, you haven't done blow for 3 years? That is correct. That is correct. Yes, I have not done cocaine in 3 years. And they look at me all surprised. Granted so, I'm not the most healthy looking gentleman on the planet. I'm pale white, bags under my eyes. I don't catch a lot of winks. So when you look at me, you immediately assume that I'm still doing it. I get it, and I don't blame you. But let's give the, old daddy loves a little toke every now and then. So cool it. I do like your idea of getting 2 strung out hookers. That would be fun. Some old war dogs. I don't want some of these young ones that are too full of themselves. That's too much. That's way too much. But I feel like this nailed it. This was a great way to end the episode. This is exactly what we're talking about right here. This is the type of shit that I want you to say. I don't care if you're shitting on me. Now, this might cause an influx of people wanting to, finally say what they want. They've always wanted to tell me to my face, but now you get the pleasure of it being anonymous because I'm not going to read your name or put your email out there, right? So you can say the things that you want to say and I won't even respond. I'll just take the email. I don't need to go back and forth with you. I just let you take your shot at me like a pro. That's beautiful. And a great way to end the episode. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Uncle Hack Podcast. Every Thursday at 3 p.m., you get a new episode. And if you're listening to the early episode on Patreon, we say thank you. And we're going to end the episode with a little roll sheet here. Thank you to all those below that are Danger Dong Patreon supporters who are producers of this show. Help keep this little train going. We thank you for the support, and we appreciate you donating your hard-earned dollars rather than giving it to the Red Cross for the Ukraine. Okay, you are giving your money to a war. You are. What is that war? Who knows? Well, it's to be determined. Okay, it's to be determined. But you are supporting something much bigger than corporate interests in a rundown fake country. Thank you. And good night.